see if I can get this now. It's not even. Right, now I can add people. I'm just waiting to get Louise added because Louise is doing that. Yeah. I don't know if this one is going to work, guys. We have to do it through the phone. So, is this working?
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Yes, we are live. We are live. So, guys, we done a competition to give a hamper away for all the supporters who's been following us for this year. It's been a terrible year for everyone, the COVID and the losses in the military family. So we decided to do this as a thank you as well to all our supporters and followers. And Louise is going to kind of explain how we've worked it out, how we've done it. Over to you.
What? You mean the
Yeah.
The prize? Yeah. What we've done is we made a hamper, and it's more like a chocolate hamper, like you know, just goodies. It's a goodie hamper. As a thank you, like Fraser said, to everyone that supported us, and thank you to the 13 that shared. We've got 13 people, so what we're going to do, we're going to do it on a, we've sent everyone a number, 1 to 13. So what we're going to do, we're going to do it on a number generator. So we've done it 1 to 13, and that'll pick a random number, and wherever that number is, will be the winner, and then we'll either deliver it if it's local, or within an hour away we'll deliver it, or we'll post it out to you. So good luck.
Well, over to you then. Good luck to everyone.
Craig. Need to borrow Craig's phone, and he's disappeared.
Yeah, see, having Craig there's. Hi, Linda.
Right, I'm going to show you it on here, okay? I'm not sure how I turn it around. Right, here we go.
Change this.
Oh, can see my carrier bags.
Don't worry.
It's all right. It's all right. Right, we've got 1 to 13, okay? And then if we, press it, yeah. Number 7.
Number 7
is. I get nice. Number 7 is. It's Ralph D. Batten.
Well, whoever that, who's that again?
Ralph D. Number 7 is Ralph D. Batten.
Yeah, so whoever won that, well done. And if you just give the page or Louise a PM of your address and that, we'll get that sorted. While we're here, Louise, let's talk about the first response coming next year.
Yeah, we've got what we're going to do. We've got therapists, and then we've got a first response crisis team who are going to do phone lines. We've got a 24/7 phone lines coming up. We're just sorting all that out now, and then we've got a team, a really, really good team of first responders who are basically going to answer calls, look on pages, look on groups for anyone that's struggling, needs help. they're then going to be passed on to me, Bella, Fraser, Zoe, Rebecca, depending on what they need, what kind of help they want, or what kind of help we think they need. So yeah, it's going to be an amazing new year, and we've got a lot of good things coming up, and we've just got an amazing team, really amazing team, and everyone gets on. Even though we don't just work as Families for Veterans, we work
Yeah.
with services. It's Rebecca
Services
and
outreach. Yeah,
Phil,
services outreach.
services outreach. Yeah, we work with Icarus, Zoe. We just work. We work with Jack.
Basically, I think
Focus
it's basically we work with everyone who's together, but it's about uniting groups together,
Yeah.
uniting other groups and charities together. Like it's like obviously not going alone. You know, the more
We've
help
proved,
we've got.
yeah, we've proved time and time again that working with other charities, working with other groups, we've got things done sorted in 40 minutes, an hour, sorted and
Yeah,
done, and that's working together and working with other groups. That's what you
mm,
need to do,
yeah.
no.
I mean, I think a good thing as well is we're bringing in people who are actually going through it themselves, have been there and struggled as well. So having that experience is helping service users for coming forward as well.
I think it's important to have gone through it yourself, or have it yourself, or still going through it yourself, because that experience it's like more like empathy rather than sympathy. No one wants
Yeah,
sympathy, so
yeah,
it's the empathy side of thing. You know what they're feeling,
yeah.
so
It's having that understanding, like where if somebody was going to the doctor, let's say, and they're not having that understanding, but coming forward to one of the team members who have that experience and knowledge, then gives that service user like a mind at ease that this person actually knows how they feel.
yeah. Well, we've been our first responders have been in a group together for a good few weeks now, because we don't just want a team, we want a team that can get on with each
Mm,
other, because it's not easy when you're working in crisis.
yeah,
It can affect you as well, so they are going to need to support each other. So you need a team that gets on to be able to support each other as well,
yeah,
sometimes you have to take a step back a little bit, and that person
mm,
needs support, so we have to do that as well. But what the first responders will be doing is doing like a kind of assessment for us, because when you go to see, or say you go to see someone and you have to explain to them everything, and they'll pass you on to someone else, and then you have to
yeah,
explain it all again, and then explain it all again, and there's nothing worse than having to explain something
yeah,
over and over again to different people. So the first responders will get that information for us that we need. We'll then look at that information, and we can take it from there. We're not going to have to ask them again to
mm.
explain everything to us.
I mean,
The
like
basic.
I think as well, like having I think London that's doing the
Yeah,
the pet site as well. I think that's
yeah,
really good. Like I think that's massive for like
yeah,
for people's recovery. Experienced it myself and done that kind of stuff as well. And maybe get Linda on at some point and she can explain more about that section. But I
yeah,
think that's going to be vital as well, part of a recovery.
definitely. We've got a lot of things coming up, a lot of ideas, and obviously as a team now, there's me, you,
Mm,
Craig, Gary, and Bella, and
mm,
we're a strong team. You know,
mm.
um,
And it's
we
not, and as well as that, you know, there's no egos. That's the main thing. It's
no,
everybody
no,
works together, and it's the same with the team.
Yeah.
And like the other night, how the team worked in one case
Oh,
it was quite
it
emotional
was
to watch
amazing.
actually. Like
It was
how
amazing.
some people just came in together and clicked.
Yeah. The first
And
responders, I was so proud of him because
mm,
we kind of stood back and let them get on with it and just
yeah,
watched. And the way they handled that was amazing. I was so proud of them. It was
yeah,
just amazing the way they come together and not only supported the veteran, they supported each other,
yeah.
which is
And the thing is as well at Family for Veterans, what I see like since I've came on board, because they're loving as well, especially coming up Christmas as well. And we've seen one of the service users put up a post out his own will, and I thought that was one of the bravest things he's actually done. And he gave us permission to put it up on our page. And you go back a month or two to what he's done now, it's incredible.
yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
And that goes credit down to like yourselves and Rebecca and everybody who's worked with the individual, you know, and that's how everybody comes together, you know, and it's
Yeah.
given that aftercare, and that's how I think we work well with other groups.
Yeah. Because the main thing is that the veteran gets that need, the veteran or the family, because it's not just the veteran, it's families as well,
Mm,
gets that gets that help they need as quickly as possible.
yeah,
And time is important. You don't want to
mm,
wait. When you're in a crisis, you don't want to have to wait three
no,
weeks. You don't have to
no,
3 weeks for a phone call back. You want it there and then. You're in a
yeah,
crisis there and then.
yeah,
And
and that's spot on. The same with addictions. When you're in addiction, you want it there. I mean,
yeah,
you can get an appointment, like say next week, but it's a year. It feels like a year.
you're not in a crisis next week. You're in a crisis now.
Yeah,
You need the help now.
yeah,
I've been through that where I've had a crisis. I've had well, a lot of crises, and it's the waiting is deflating.
mm,
It's you instantly feel, even though you've got to wait and you've not been you feel let down because you
yeah.
need it then.
And
You know,
that's the problem that in the veterans community in the civilian community is people do
yeah,
come forward and then they having to wait, and
yeah,
they're scared then to then reach out because they've been let down. Basically,
yeah,
they've trusted people, and basically the trust has been left and let go.
yeah,
And to
yeah.
gain that trust is quite hard, and we do find that.
Mm. That's what I found a lot. And they've well, now I've done it before. You know, they've let me down, and they've let me down, and it's hard. It makes it harder for us because we're trying to tell them that we won't let you down, but they've heard it before. They've heard
Yeah,
it all before. So
yeah,
you've got then not let them down.
yeah. I
You've
mean,
got to
it's
follow through.
yeah, it's given like you can't give false hopes, can't give false
Yeah,
promises, and
no,
that's a good thing as well at Family Veterans having like Icarus having like Zoe does a lot of work as well, and having the kind of therapist is for us is fantastic, but also for like so Rebecca
yeah,
and other groups as well, having that, and because I think Zoe's been the stuff she does is unbelievable.
yeah. It's lovely having. It's like Rebecca. If we need any outreach things doing, she's straight away on it.
Yeah,
She's sorting it.
yeah,
She works so hard, and she works as well, and does
hmm,
this. And Zoe works full time,
yeah,
and she
yeah.
does the therapy outside of work. So she's
And
constant. And it's
and that's not forgetting that whenever we're all doing this, we're all suffering ourselves. You know, we've
yeah,
all got our own personal individual recoveries,
yeah,
and sometimes that's forgotten. If you know what I mean, like and putting that all your effort into what we do. Like we don't ask for anything for it. Like we don't ask for anything to fund it. It's good how everybody comes in their own time. and give something, because I think I think the thing I find it amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It's we know how it feels. We know. I think it's because we know how it feels. We want to make it. We want to make it different. We want to make a difference, and it's just horrible. I mean, I've got mental health. I've suffered mental health for years. Um, I've I've had I've had attempts on my life. You know, I know how that feels. Um, and just to know how it feels, so they don't have to sit and explain it to you.
Yeah.
Somebody that doesn't know how it feels, because there's nothing worse than that, feeling patronized. That's the
Yeah.
worst thing, feeling patronized. So to talk to someone that knows what you're going through, knows how it feels, knows what a flashback feels like, knows what, night terrors are, knows what this, you don't have to sit and explain it, you just know.
Yeah.
And this is why we will not prefer, but it's better if who we not use, but who we have on board, if they actually
Yeah.
suffer mental health themselves,
I mean, I
because
find that for yourself, I don't know if you think the same, but like for me, we always seem to focus on negative. Like our brains are negative, and
yeah,
especially like if we're working with people, and we're always negative. I was negative in my addictions, and I'm still negative at quite a lot of times. And there is positives, and I think we've worked with people, and they will pick out the negatives, but you focus
yeah,
on the positives.
yeah, it is hard, it's difficult though. When your brain's wired to negative, it's hard, because from waking up to going to sleep, you are in a constant battle with yourself,
Yeah.
and there's nothing worse. And it's there all the time. It's at you and at you and at you, and you're fighting it and you're battling
Mm.
it.
It's
And
an illness. It's an illness, and it's something that I think a lot of us, certainly myself. I don't know about you, Louise, but I underestimated it. Like I do at times. I think like you do treatment, and you think you're going to be fine, but it's an everyday battle. It's like a full-time job, isn't it? You know.
yeah, I mean, I had 6 years of therapy when my marriage split up, and then recently I've been in 2 years of therapy, and I'm still in therapy now. And she's been amazing. And to be honest, right, I think before, the reason it hasn't worked is because I haven't been totally honest. I was never totally honest,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. This time, I have told her everything.
Mm.
I always
I
held
can,
things back,
yeah, I
and
can
I
relate
told
to
her
that.
everything, every trauma. I told her, and we worked on it. And she says things that things happen in my life, and I don't understand it, and I think it's a bad thing. Instantly
Yeah.
think it's a bad thing. And my therapist, she'll say, no, it's not. This is because you're getting better. Your brain is allowing this to happen, but you're thinking of it as negative. But it's a good thing. It's positive.
Mm.
It's the good
Yeah.
memories coming back instead of the bad memories all the time.
Yeah.
And it can be quite confusing. It can be quite.
It's
It's
a daunting. It's like a projector. I've said this before. Like when you get into
yeah,
that mode, you're in that mode, and it's hard to get yourself out that unless you've got the tools. And again, that's why a lot of people turn to some sort of addiction as well, self-medicating as well, if they don't get that kind of support. Because the thing is that we need to be catching. Well, it should be the NHS actually, and it should be like the government. But I'm not going to be political here, but in a way, they should be catching them before they come out when they come out of service.
yeah,
Yeah, in the same way, I know there's a lot in the families as well are affected because they're watching their son, daughter, whoever come
yeah.
back and want to take their own life or hit the drink or drugs. And
They
it's
come back
quite
the same
sad.
person. yeah. It's but the addiction is just, I mean, I've got an opiate addiction. I'm not ashamed of it. I've got
No,
an
no.
opiate addiction, and that makes me an addict. I
Mm.
mean, mine's you know, like bloody memory, from a doctor. Mine's script, you know, prescription meds.
Mm.
And I'm addicted to opiates.
Mm.
And but I'll never. It's not like I'll ever come off them. I won't
Yeah,
if I need them.
yeah,
I feel a lot of pain, so I like if I run out or I ain't got any,
yeah,
I I'd do anything for him because I can't
yeah.
manage without them. So I know what
That,
that is
yeah.
like because I am an addict.
Mm.
Even
And
though
it's nothing.
even though I don't go to the shop and buy it, I get it from a
Yeah,
doctor. I'm still an addict.
yeah. And
You
there's
know?
everybody has that stigma about it. Like I was an alcoholic, cocaine addict, and
Mm,
I was like, I think like you said earlier, I told them what they wanted to hear. Like I
yeah,
didn't get it. Like for the first time in rehab, I just did not get it. And I was in a 4 week residential, and I told them what they wanted to hear, just to get me
yeah,
out there. Even though my mum paid all that money, I was like, and you don't think till you're actually like when I went into, like you said there, like you went and spoke to your therapist. When I went to Tom Harrison House, that was the first time I actually really reached out and says and talked about my trauma because I had it.
yeah,
And if I didn't, if I had it anymore, I would have been in relapse again. I wouldn't have
yeah,
lasted, you
yeah.
know. And that's why people should reach out because it's, we don't say it's easy in this kind of journey. It's never easy in this journey.
No, it's not. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. It's one of the bravest things you'll ever do.
Mm.
And reaching
It's
out
about
is the
the
first
biggest thing
step.
is reaching out. Yeah.
Reaching out is the biggest
Mm.
step. And it's my mind's gone blank. You know
It's
how it is.
I mean, coming up like Christmas Day tomorrow, and I think the year we've had, um, and it's important that people do reach out, and especially tomorrow, a lot of people will be on their own. And we don't, and this is like why we do this. But even though like we might be having our own thing, we still want people to be involved and still be reaching out. And it's sad to think about veterans and civilians who are sleeping on the streets and things like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
especially this time of year and with everything going on. And that's why the biggest thing is to reach out before it gets too far.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it's like also it's like the stigma attached to mental health is, especially where males are concerned, they feel that it's weak for
Mm.
them to admit that there's something wrong. It's
Yeah,
not. It's
it's
really
not.
not.
It's no.
It takes a lot of strength, and it's probably one of the bravest things you'll do
Yeah, but
is
then
to reach out for help.
you've seen the folk coming forward recently and out their own free will,
Yeah,
and it's actually amazed me that the amount of people have came forward. Then some, it doesn't surprise you. It gives you it gives you a bit of hope. It gives you a really pride for the person because like they've gone from don't know what to do to actually
yeah,
putting their hand out and say, "Listen, I am struggling,"
yeah.
and that's the biggest thing to actually do.
It's amazing to be on their journey with them as well. Um, when you first meet them and you first start that journey with them, and then a few months down the line, you see how far they've come,
Yeah,
and it's amazing. It's
yeah,
amazing to be a part of their journey, you know,
yeah,
and it's a privilege to be a part of their journey that
yeah.
they've trusted you to
Mhm.
let you in, you know, and that is a massive privilege, you know.
Yeah,
It's but trust is earned, isn't it? You
yeah.
don't get all
I
the
mean,
trust earned.
and that's the thing. Like cases, like especially we've worked in addiction cases, and that that could be the hardest cases as well. Not just because I've had addiction or we've had addiction, it's because if when you're labelled an addict, and I experienced this, and you probably have, I don't know, but when you're looked at as addict, you won't get help. Like mental health and the treatment from NHS is non-existent until you're less sober or free. But the problem you've got there is there's not enough detoxes or places or such things, and sadly, like there's only one rehab for veterans in the UK, and that's where I went to, Tom Harrison House. One, and nobody knows about it. You know, it's quite sad, and it saved my life. And I know it saved a few other veterans, and nobody knows about it.
Well, I mean, I've been volunteering, working, helping in mental health for a long time. But it's only recently, since I've been working in addictions as well, that I knew about Tom Harrison House.
Yeah, I just remember somebody mentioned it to me, and somebody planted. It was like somebody planted that seed to me a year ago, and then when I eventually surrendered, that's when I made a phone call and I done it. It was one of the hardest 12 weeks ever, like because you're actually fully committing to a program, and being an honest program, because obviously I do AA as well, and yeah, you've got to be an honest program. If you're not going to be honest, you're not going to learn the tools and talk about your traumas. Yes, it's hard, but that's why you're drinking. That's why you're taking drugs, because you're trying to block the emotions out.
Of course you are. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why, but I never did the drink. I've never done the drugs. I'm teetotal. I don't drink.
Yeah.
And
don't blame you.
think, to be honest, I've had ex-partners that have been alcoholics, and to go through as someone with an alcoholic, it really affects you really badly.
Yeah, and when you're saying that, you were in the receiving end from that.
Yeah.
And as I'm sitting here, I was actually like if I was the one that was giving it, imagine, do you know what I mean? That's what I was doing to people, where you were in the receiving end of that.
Yeah, you know, like now, if I hear a ring pull, even if it's on a can of Coke, that is a trigger for me now. A ring pull on because if I hear a ring pull, I go flash it. I go straight back there. Not a nice life, you know. For
no, and that's quite good. Like, I'm actually quite glad. Like we spoke about this, because not when you're in it, like say myself, I'm using this as an example. It was when I was in an addiction, and I didn't care about anything I had. And I didn't care about the people around me. I was more selfish and thought about myself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not till you go into sobriety, you go into recovery, where you actually realising the damage you actually cause.
Yeah.
And the how much hurt you've caused people.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's. I mean, like, I've been in 2 years therapy because of it.
Yeah.
Because of the effect, how it affected me.
Yeah.
Horrible. Yeah. But now I'm helping. I mean, not only helping in addictions, but helping the families of addicts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're important too. They suffer.
Oh yeah,
and they need help too. You know, they need that support, and I know what that's like. I know what it's like from the addiction side, and I know what it's like being close to someone that's got addictions. You know, so I know it from both sides, and either way, it's not nice. Either side, not a nice.
That's it. It's in both sides, and for me, like the guilt for people I hurt, you can't fix it overnight, and a lot of people think like it's just a kiss and make up, but it's not. You've actually destroyed other people around you. My family, some of them actually got mental health issues, probably like yourself, like what you're talking about. Had mental health issues herself, so it has that ripple effect.
Yeah, it's like it's like Jekyll and Hyde, you know, when they're sober, they can be the nicest person ever. And then when they're not, they turn into this monster.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree with that.
There's no other word for it. A monster. You know,
I think
that
yeah,
they don't care if they hurt you. In fact, it's
no.
almost like they enjoy hurting you.
But
And
that's
it's
like the not caring, manipulating people. Like you hurting,
manipulation
manipulation's massive.
and lies as well. You never, you're living in a world of lies, you know, and it's like manipulation and lies. And it does affect you really badly,
Yeah,
especially when you're close to that person and you care about them, and you try so hard to help them, and it ends up bringing you down. It ends up draining you of everything you've got. You know,
yeah,
mentally, emotionally, physically, you're drained.
yeah.
You're dead inside. You know, and
Mm.
I had to walk away. I couldn't do it for my
Look,
sanity. I couldn't do it.
yeah,
But to get you to a point, I think, where I think what it was with me, um, at the end, you're only there because you feel guilty if you left them.
yeah.
All the love's
That's
gone.
good.
They've,
Yeah.
they've, they've got they've chipped away at that, and they've killed it. You know, there's nothing
Mm,
left anymore. But
mm,
it's the guilt, because you
yeah,
feel guilty. If I leave them, I feel guilty, and
mm.
it's the guilt that keeps a lot of people there. You
Yeah,
know,
that,
in
yeah,
that
I believe that.
situation,
Yeah.
it's not love, it's guilt,
Mm.
because they also, with the manipulation, make them feel guilty.
That's it. I mean, if you get into like for me, I if I had that, it's more of a need. It was a need of how do I get my substance? How do I get it? If I had somebody close, I would manipulate that to get that substance of choice. And
Yeah,
and and
yeah,
it's when you look back on it, it's like it's hard to actually look back on it. Even
yeah,
actually talking about it at Tom Harrison House, like you're thinking, actually, it's not all about me. It's actually, I was one for blaming everybody else, NHS, fucking everything,
yeah,
like doctors, like my mum and all that. But in the end of the day, it was me causing it. I picked up the drink. Nobody forced it down my neck, and it was a blame game, manipulation, the heart, I
yeah,
destroyed lives.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
but like,
It really, they would like. I found it was when I was there. I wouldn't have drinking around me, and they would almost pick an argument to get rid of me so they
yeah,
could drink.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It was like
yeah,
that, and it become almost. I knew what was happening. I knew it was so predictable,
mm,
you know, and cruel, so cruel. You
yeah.
know, just I can't think of any other words. It's just
It is like when I look back on it. I mean, I'm like, did I really do that? And I did,
yeah,
and it's the worst thing about it is I did. And like one of my step work is making amends, and I think the first time I seen that was like, how the hell am I meant to make all these amends? Like, but it's the small things are giving back. Like people are struggling like with mental health or addictions is about giving back. That's what I see it. Why like they know what it's like to be rock bottom, but to pass that on to somebody else and give that to help someone and see
yeah,
them rise, it really gives you, it warms you up inside. Like I hate seeing people struggling. I hate people with seeing people relapse, and that kills me, man. And I've
yeah,
seen people doing that, but it's not a bad thing. Like people see it as a bad thing, relapsing, but there's a difference between a relapse to a blip. A relapse is you go into a full relapse, where a blip's just a one-off thing. You're not in a full active addiction. But it's still hard to see friends and who you've been through treatment with,
yeah,
like, or know people who's in active addiction or in recovery, then out of nowhere just but in a way, like a relapse actually comes before you even pick up a drink or drugs. It's actually it's planned out in the mind. Like the triggers are there, the behaviours are there, the characters are there. But when you hit that drink, you're actually 4 months or 3 months practically relapsed already. If you're not following that program, then you're back at square one. You know, and
Yeah.
it's hard, and that's how, like, when you try and talk to people about it, they don't get how they see this. They think it's like a 7-day detox and like maybe a 4-week program, which I don't think's enough. But and that's it. It's not. Sadly, it's not.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just dealing with an addiction. You're dealing with the underlying issue that's put you there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You know. But in another way, we've got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
pushing forward. I don't know if Craig wants to say a few words.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, where is it? Where is the boss man?
He's gone upstairs.
Oh, has he? Has he been hiding? Has he?
Yeah. He's. I think he's gone upstairs, so we can't ask him to talk.
Yeah, but anyway, all we're gonna say is really, like, during the Christmas period, please do reach out. Like,
Yeah.
don't we're not like, just because it's Christmas Day, don't be scared. Just reach out. We'll all be there.
So yeah, we'll still be there. It's 24/7 this job, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
but the thing is, you still do it. It doesn't matter what time of the day or night. It's something you want to do. Like, you do it from the heart. You know, that's the
yeah,
thing. We all do it from the heart. You know, and
definitely.
if somebody's struggling, like, we'll be there. Like, and that's what it should be like. And working together. And that's what I love about working in, like, Chris and that is work, and Rebecca at Services Outreach. I think it's a great partnership.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I think we've got it just right. I think we've actually
Yeah.
got it right.
Mm.
You know, the people that we work with are amazing in their own right, as well as
Yeah.
working with families of veterans. What they do is just amazing, you know, and
Yeah.
and they do it for nothing.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
do it for
they've
nothing.
they've done it for, like, I mean Rebecca and that's done it for years, and like I'm just a year, and you've in a few years, and I've seen so many people succeed through it, and you probably have as well. And it's nice to see when somebody's moving forward in their life, and
Yeah.
there's
I-
some
It's
good.
I love it when I see progress being made, and
Yeah.
I mean the thing is, it's people don't realize that they think that if you see a therapist or something like that, the therapist is going to make you better.
Mm,
No, you've got to put the work in as well. It's
yeah.
50/50.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right, and that's why I say when I work with addiction cases, and they'll say thank you, and it's not me that's doing it. It's actually the service user that's doing it.
They're
They're
doing the
doing the
work.
hard work, because, like,
Yeah,
what therapy works for me is not going to probably work for that person, because it's individual basics, you know,
yeah,
and then you're sitting there going, "What are you thinking, mate? It's you that's done the work. You're the one that's not picked up any drink. You're the one that's working on your mental health." You know,
yeah,
and again, that
definitely.
does go back to that way of negative thinking in a way, because, like, they're not praising themselves for the work they actually do.
No, because I think, to be honest, even though other people can see how far you've come, you don't really, you can't really see the progress you've made.
Me?
No, I don't mean you. I mean in general.
No,
Like
it's not.
in
Even
general, I
now, I
think.
can't, like, people say that you've done this and that. It's hard work. It's like, you know the condition I've got, like, and it's not just dealing with like, mental health and addiction, but dealing with a chronic illness which was caused by the
Yeah,
alcohol, and
yeah,
it screws with your head, man. You know,
mm,
it's a nightmare.
yeah. But you know, um, I'm looking forward to 21.
Yeah, and hopefully, like with everything this lockdowns, and I know the next 6 weeks. I don't know about I think what you happen to know about you, but we're in 6 weeks here in Northern
The
Ireland.
At the minute, we're
So
still in tier 3, so
yeah,
the, we're not getting put in tier 4 at the minute, so that's good. But
and that's the thing as well about lockdown is isolation, loneliness, and that's the whole idea is having these buddy checks as well.
well,
The-
share, and if anybody wants like to do, I mean, there's FaceTime, you know, like
mm,
we're doing now. There's FaceTime if anybody
yeah,
wants to chat, just to chat,
Zoom,
you know.
yeah,
We've got first responders that'll talk, chat, you know, because we've, I mean, years ago we didn't have this, you know, but now we have,
yeah,
and make use of it, you know, have a chat, because sometimes that's
yeah.
all you need.
That's
Sometimes
it.
all you need is just a vent or chat, and you feel better, you
Mm.
know. And our first responders are brilliant. They're amazing. They really
Yeah,
are.
the
Um,
team like the how and the experience they've got in them,
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
and that then goes forward in helping people in the recovery, and then it gives it confidence when because eventually people will go like on their own a bit, and they'll still have that like buddy check if you know what I mean, but they're doing it themselves, and
mm,
they're moving small steps forward. And
yeah,
that's what you want to try and get people who's maybe not had qualifications, college or anything, like
yeah,
doing things like that. Even getting outside.
yeah.
People might not even get outside, and now they find themselves going out for a walk. Simple
Yeah.
things in life.
It is, isn't it? That little step. It's baby steps, and it's making that first. You know, once you've made that first step, when you've done that biggest step, and then you start to, you know, just little things, make little changes. Don't.
Yeah,
I think what a lot of people do, right? I don't know if you, but what I find with a lot of people is they set the goals too high to start with, and I think they set themselves up to fail sometimes.
yeah, I
Because
did
what they
that.
do, they look at the big picture, and they want
Yeah,
the big picture instead of do you know, I'm a logical thinker,
yeah,
and I look at it as like a jigsaw, and you've got all your pieces there in a mess, and what you have to do, you have to put a piece in place each time,
mm,
and then you see the bigger picture being built up, but it's all
yeah,
made of little pieces. So
yeah,
what you've got to do is do one little thing, and then another
yeah,
little thing, and another, and before you know it, you've got half a picture. And then
yeah. I
before
know.
you, I mean, I don't think, to be honest, like us, we'll never have that full jigsaw. I don't think
No,
we'll ever have
nah,
that full.
I,
No,
like we say, there's for mental health and addiction, like there's no cure. Like, and it's more of a like a manageable
yeah,
way of your life to manage it. Like
yeah,
addictions can happen at any point. You can relapse. Mental health, you can have a situation where you have like a relapse with that as well.
mm,
And somebody could have a bad turn. So in a way, recovery is important, and some people do get the wrong impression that it's an overnight fix. Like it's a
yeah,
4 week course. I mean, I remember when Combat Stress set that 6 week course up, and like
mm,
that was you back in the community, and that was you. Like there's no cure. It's about how to. It's managing it. It's
yeah,
managing your life in a whole,
yeah,
and that's
definitely.
one thing what's
I find
lacking.
as well distractions. You know, if I
Mm,
start feeling I have to distract myself,
yeah.
I do all sorts, anything. You know, I have colouring books
Mm,
to focus. I do baking to
mm,
distract myself. I don't do
yeah.
baking for me 'cause I don't eat it, but I'm a feeder. I bake for everybody else. But it's just the act of doing it. It keeps me busy, you know. And my days are full for me getting up to go to bed. My day is full because if I was left to my own thoughts, I mean,
That's
first thing,
that's that's the scary part is our own thoughts,
Yeah.
That's the main worst part. I would say is the thoughts you actually have.
Yeah.
It's crazy some of the stuff you can come out with.
Yeah. I mean, I've got BPD. It's like I've got CPTSD and I've got borderline personality disorder. Now that, in fact, it's worse than bipolar, and it's not as well known as bipolar. But what it is with bipolar, you have the highs and the lows, but it can be like your highs can last a week, and then you're going to a low, and then they can last weeks or months, days. With BPD, it's the same, but hours good, minute to minute, hour to hour. So we can be on a high for an hour, and then suddenly, I want to take my life. I'll have suicidal thoughts the next hour, and then all of a sudden, I'll be high again. I'll be up there again, and it's tiring. Having them emotions up and down every hour all day is exhausting, mentally, emotionally exhausting.
See, I wouldn't under like for that part. I don't know how that would like be for me. Like having like that really good and having bad. Where mine, even now, even today, I look back at like when I had DTs, that freaked the hell out of me, and that still affects me. That was 2016, and it still affects me today. Even being a year clean, there's no way I can get that picture out of my head, and that was always my trigger. And the past year, it's not. I just learned to deal with it, and as you said, I've learned to talk about it. I wouldn't have been able to do that a year ago.
No, I mean, my therapist knows everything about me, even the horrible details. She knows everything about me. And I think it's like flashbacks. Oh God, I had a flashback. I only had two really, really severe. I mean, what bad ones? And one lasted 5 days. The effects from it lasted 5 days. It took my speech. I couldn't speak for 5 days. I got put on medication to beta blockers because of it. I couldn't speak. I mean, literally, I was dumb. I couldn't. No sound would come out. I was shaking. I dissociated from reality. I couldn't speak. And that's how flashbacks can affect you. That's how bad it can be.
Yeah.
So flashbacks can be horrendous. So when people say, "Oh, flashbacks," and they're horrible. It's scary.
No.
I mean, really scary.
Yeah. But anyway, I think what do you call it? We just need to make sure everybody keeps reaching out and knowing we're there, because
you're not reaching out to people that don't understand or are going to judge you. We're not going to judge you at all, because I think a lot of people are scared of being judged.
It does. I agree there.
We are going through the same thing. We understand.
I think it's like, but what journey, what road are they going to take? It's like they know they're in a bad position. They know that they have to reach out, but they're scared to reach out. The fact is, where's this journey going to take them?
Yeah.
Because you don't know. It's one of the things you don't know.
It's scary, but sometimes it's like, do you know what, right? And a lot of people might understand what I mean is, I lost the feeling of excited. I forgot what excited felt like. I couldn't remember, because I never felt excited. When something good was happening and people go, "Oh, aren't you excited?" I go, "Oh yeah, oh I am," but I weren't. And I'm thinking, when does this feeling come? When's it gonna come? Because I can't feel it. I was numb. I can't feel it anymore. And it's only recently, where my therapy's been working, and I've been with Craig and he's supported me in that, I've started to get that excited feeling back. And all the feelings that I thought was gone forever are starting to come back.
Yeah.
But that took 2 years. 2
No,
years
no.
for little bit of feelings to come back.
It's like, it's weird, like you're going through the 16, like obviously with Bella and me, like Bella was the first time half anyone in her life living with her, and for me it's like, I was an alcoholic for like 13 years, so it's all news to me. And Bella's really supportive for me, and
Yeah.
oh yeah, I've got times I can be a pain in the ass, as she calls me. It says, but then all of us are, aren't we? But no, I don't. She's been a rock for me, like especially the past few months. Like it's been hard, like the been in and out of hospital and that. Um, but again, I know I've still got things to work on. Like
Yeah,
it's not.
we all have, haven't we?
Well, yeah, yeah. But
You know.
anyway, I think we're going to leave it there. I didn't realise what the time was. But if anyone is struggling, reach out, and we do hope you have a nice Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
And Louise, you can send in if you take it away.
Okay.
Right,
Take
right,
what
guys.
away?
Huh?
Good
You can
night.
wish everybody
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Bye.
Christmas all.